Alright, I think... No, this isn't it.
Dude, are you serious?
Hey, my name is Diego Britton. I'm one of the programming directors here at KVRX, and these are my library picks. First one I have here is actually, so this isn't really even one of my favorite records of all time or anything. It's more that it's significant because my show that I do, Dreaming Wide Awake, Fridays at 1 a.m., is a shoegaze dream pop based show, and there's a song on this album which is Depersonalisation by Nite. The song is called You I Never Knew, which is actually the song that got me into shoegaze way back when I was a junior in high school. And that song specifically led me down a rabbit hole that led me into My Bloody Valentine, Slow Dive, all the classic shoegaze artists that made me fall in love with the genre. And so this record is significant for that reason, but it's also, I mean, it is pretty good. I do like it. It's Nite is part of the Australian psych shoegaze wave that came out of Australia in the early 2010s, and they're very good. I highly recommend them. So yes, Depersonalisation by Nite. So moving on to kind of not necessarily shoegaze. This is an album called Blackberry, Belle by the Twilight Singers. The Twilight Singers are actually a side project of Greg Dully from the Afghan Whigs, and I personally, one of my favorite musical genres is like very melodramatic early 2000s, late 90s alternative rock. I don't know why, I just love it, and this album I feel like personifies that perfectly. The song that introduced me to this album was probably, I think it's the most famous song off the album. It's called Teenage Wristband. Don't know what the title means, but it's a great song. I like to jam it, you know, turn my volume up to max when I'm driving on the highway, roll all my windows down and play it, and it makes me feel like I'm in an early 2010s teen movie or something like that. It's really great. And so that album is really good if you're a freak for nostalgia the way I am. So yeah, that's a good one. Third one I've got picked up here today is an album, Today by Galaxy 500. Galaxy 500 are kind of one of the major pioneers of the dream pop genre. They don't really sound like any other band I've ever heard. I mean, they have a very simplistic, minimalistic sound to them, but in a way, like the way they sound dreamy, the texture of their music is, I think, just incredibly unique. And this is their debut album. It's most evident here. It came out in 1987, and I mean, at the time, 1987, no other band sounded even remotely like Galaxy 500, and even now, bands that take influence from Galaxy 500 don't even closely do them justice. So yeah, today I would say my favorite song off of this one is Tugboat, the closer. Of their 3 albums that they put out, I think that's my favorite song of theirs overall. It's a great closer to the album, an incredible album. This is also actually their shortest album. It's only 10 songs. And I think I might also like the brevity of it. It's one of the reasons. I think On Fire is generally their more well-regarded album, but I like the cohesiveness of this one a little more. So yeah, this is a cool find. Got stolen from KVRX written, because I guess back in the day it was a problem that DJs used to take albums out of the library, but my, how times have changed. Closing things off, I have this magnificent record, Freedom by a band called Amen Dunes. This is easily my favorite album released in 2018 so far. Amen Dunes, a band out of Brooklyn, headed by Damon McMahon. Generally in the past focused on a lot of kind of psychedelic folk music. That's kind of what their specialty was, but this time around they went completely in a completely different direction and went to I've heard this described as neo-psychedelic rock. I know it's very focused and driven by guitar and synthesizer music. I know that Damon McMahon enlisted the help of an underground musician from Italy named Panoram to produce this album, and that his production is very clearly audible on this one. But I think the lyricism on this album is really what makes it so great. I think during the time that the album was being written, McMahon was going through a lot of personal issues and things like that, and it's really well reflected on this one. The song Mickey Dora is actually my favorite. Not only my favorite song on the album, but one of my favorite songs of the year. Actually, my favorite song of the year. It's about a surfer named Mickey Dora from the 1950s, 60s, legendary surfer who was an outlaw as well. He was a very bad person, and the song deals with him and a mythical heroic maleness, as McMahon himself puts it, and I think that capturing that in song is it's an artistic level that I haven't experienced before, and I can't recommend this album enough. I love it. It's amazing. Mickey Dora is the greatest song ever written. Whatever, it's awesome. Those were my library picks. Make sure to give them all a listen, and make sure to tune into my show Fridays at 1 a.m. Dreaming Wide Awake for all your shoegaze, dream pop music needs. If you like your music hazier than Beijing on a summer's day, I gotcha. So, thanks for tuning in.